Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, and welcome to this beautiful edition of Spotlight on Super FM 92.7. Another day to talk about things trending in our dear country. Another day to make analysis on things happening in our country, Nigeria. Well, welcome to Spotlight on Super FM 92.7. Spotlight is where we make analysis, in-depth analysis of topics, issues relating from governance, politics, education, business, security, and other related trending matters in our dear country. Today, we head straight to the educational sector where we discuss, where we address the educational menace called Asuu strike. This has been happening for ages, for years. There have been agreement to agreement since 2009. Until date, we are still stuck in this menace called Asuu strike. Recently, the Academic Staff Union of University says that they are prepared for the mother of all strikes until their demands regarding the 2009 agreement with the federal government are implemented. Well, joining us live to review this menace in educational sector called Asuu strike is a professor of business finance from the Olabisi Onabanjo University, retired. We have Professor Adebi Julius. Prof, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, but I would say I'm also not fine because when it comes to altering the educational sector, I seems to be bothered. Very, very, very bothered. I remember back then when I was in school, I'm also an alumnus of Olabisi Onabanjo University, and I remember strikes upon strike by the time during the days of Obasanjo, ages. I keep imagining what is going on. You get admission to spend 4 years, and you end up spending 6, 7, if not 8. This menace called Asuu strike. How did it begin?
You see, that is to tell you how not quite sincere government is. Because you see, when you reach agreement with anybody, agreement is agreement. And the expected thing is that you go by the agreement. But when you now sign an agreement and you continue to push it forward and forward and forward, so that you will not even give room for a new agreement. You can imagine an agreement of 2009 still lingering to 2025. That's about 16 years. Yes. Even some of those who started the negotiation will have retired from the universities.
Yes.
I have retired, for instance. And if you now don't get it, those who are remaining will have the impression that, of course, if care is not taken, they will not even get anything until they retire. So me, I see it basically as the inconsistency and seriousness on the part of government. And it's a way to further destroy the educational system in the country, because head or tail, those who are doing the donkey job are these lecturers. But see, one keeps wondering what exactly is the problem. And you see, once the agreement is not worked on, and then what is necessary is done, then there will not be room for a new negotiation. And that is why Asuu is insisting that, look, what we have, where we reached, let us even concretize that so that we can start a new one. And the reason why in the universities now, they are mobilizing for another strike, because you see, in a system where dialogue is no longer working, of course, the end result is confrontation.
And now, with this, like you said, the system, a place where the system is no longer working, its confrontation is next. And now Asuu is coming out to say, well, they are prepared for the mother of all strike. And when you say mother of all strikes, is this not scary to you? What will happen next? next joining?
No, no, no. It's not scary. It has always been that way because you see, the thinking really is that if you don't give a kind of hashtag to what you want to do, probably
Oh,
government will
so
not
this
even
this is
listen.
this is just an hashtag. This is just a tag. It's really not the mother of all strikes. That's what you're saying.
No. You see, when being a mother of all strike, the only thing I expect from this one is that if for once ASU can now insist that whatever they want to do must be done before they return. But you will see that in the past, it has not always worked out like that. Say along the line, those who should even support the
The movement.
ASU, the movement, they will now turn around and be castigating ASU as if the ASU people, that is the lecturers, they are from another world.
So
They are
so
not in
so we
this
have
society.
saboteurs among the ASU members. That's what you're saying.
No. Not saboteurs within ASU members. I mean the general public. Don't
Okay.
forget,
Okay. All right.
the university is supposed to be the conscience of the society. And as the conscience of the society, they should also benefit from the resources of the society. And education, the universities and stuff like that, are creations of the society. Therefore, for society to continue to benefit from that whatever they have created, then they must be ready to fund that creation. And the funding is at two levels: the funding by way of infrastructures and stuff like that, and then payment of living wages to the people working there. You can imagine a professor retiring and then having a pension of less than 200,000. Does that make sense?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Well, the minister has called for, at one time, called for negotiation in 2009 for the 2009 agreement between the federal government and the university unions. That's Asuu, SANU, NAT, and NASU in February, on February 13, 2017. I beg pardon. But it was delayed due to unforeseen challenges. What are these challenges, Prof? What were these challenges during your time, before, when you were in the academic season? What were these challenges that the federal government, keep making excuses of?
To me, I cannot understand the challenges that government is ventilating.
Why are they in a hurry to increase the money of politicians? Why are they in a hurry to put things, do some things for the glam, but are not putting things right for the lecturers, the educational sectors, and their budgets for this?
Just like I asked one of my colleagues, that why is it that we that produce them are the ones they are not treating well? Because I cannot imagine all of these people taking decisions were at one time or the other taught by us. And I expect that they will be good to us. But you find out that there are different things entirely once they get there. That is number one. Number two, of course, the politicians will continue to have an edge. Because even if you give a hoe to somebody that is having brain challenge, that person will still use the hoe the normal way by drawing things to himself. He will not push things away from himself. So to me, I just believe that it is because they have that advantage, they can do whatever they like, and then they can amass as much wealth as possible from the Commonwealth. Of course, that is not to say that they will now be doing that at the detriment of those who are producing them. Because for you to become a professor is not a joke. And for you to have chosen the line of education is also not a joke. Because you are creating knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you are creating knowledge, you are making people to be knowledgeable, then you should be paid well to have a sure future. Just like I told you, in some of the states now, when the professor retires, the pension is less than 200,000. And I think there's a university in Maiduguri now, they are complaining of the paltry pension they get after retiring. You see, all of these are not too good, and we should address it as a nation.
Well, the way it is, does Asuu, or do you think that Asuu genuinely are fighting for the interests of Nigerian students, or it's just primarily about the lecturers' welfare?
You see, over time, we have always been accusing our union leaders that instead of fighting for us, they kept on fighting for the society. And the truth of the matter, just like I said, we are the conscience of the society. So even as much as we are trying to see how we can earn more, we are also obligation bound to see how the society will run better. And that was why we were always first hammering on infrastructure in the university, facilities to use to teach these students, before even talking about our own salary. So what Asuu has always been doing has always been in the interest of the society, and more importantly, the students, so that they can have quality education. When none of these students, when they graduate and go somewhere else, they excel. We taught them now. All right? So Asuu is not selfish in any way. I have not seen where they are selfish. If anything, they have been too nice to the society, and therefore such a group of people should be well remunerated so that they can continue to do what is good for the society,
But the students
the conscience of society.
But the students are suffering for this.
No. You see, there is no way
You
want to do this kind of thing. There is no way you want to do this kind of thing to make education good, that there will not be some hardship here and there. All right? And that is why Asuu is always saying, before even embarking on strike, Asuu will let people know what is happening. And we expect that the parents, the stakeholders, should rise up and ask government what exactly is their problem. All right? But the stakeholders will keep quiet. It is when their children come home and they are no longer comfortable with the rate at which they eat at home that they will now be making noise that we don't even know why Asuu is doing what they are doing. This matter is a collective matter. It should not even be a matter to be prosecuted by Asuu alone. It should be prosecuted by everybody in this country if we want good education. So that's the way I see it too.
Well, because students and even parents seems to be the one suffering, even more than government and lecturers, whenever Asuu people go on strike. That's what it seems to happen.
You see, that's the challenge with our people. We always see there is a misplacement of thought. As far as that is misplacement of thought. They cannot say because there's a strike action and then the students are at home, therefore the students are suffering. No. And there's never been a time Asuu, the lecturers went on strike and they returned and they didn't cover all of those things that they need to cover. Even they will now do it almost double. They will see they will be going at neck-breaking speed to ensure that what is the curriculum is covered, what is expected to be done will still be done. All right. So,
but is strike action the best solution to this menace in the educational sector?
Like I told you, when negotiation fails, What option does
Because
anybody have
everybody now,
with
even the
government?
NLC, strike, protest, all of this, is that the best solution?
You see, to an ordinary eye, yes, you will say it is not the best solution. But the question is, people who are saying it's not the best solution, have they come up with another solution? Because when you negotiate with somebody and you are not moving forward, what else do? You go home and sleep, or you take it, God day, and you move on. There must be a way to insist that no, you have to do this thing. And that is the whole essence of strike. Before you go to strike, there will be all kinds of interaction, all kinds of negotiation. It is when all of these fail that they will go into strike. Nobody will wake up one morning and say that, yes, we want more money. The next thing is a strike. No, it is not done that way. Even what has been done yesterday is just to mobilize and sensitize. So when it is 28th of the month, and then government is not doing anything, of course, the full-blown strike, they will commence.
All right. Let's allow Lagosians and Nigerians make a comment on this issues happening in the educational sector. Well, Lagos, yes, call us 0705 690 0927. 0705 690 0927 or 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Well, we'll also go into further talks in this before we'll take a short breather, and then we'll go into other conversation on this matter. Who do we have on the line this morning? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Solomon Williams and I'm calling from Ikeja, Lagos.
All right, Solomon Williams from Ikeja. Please make your comment.
Okay, sincerely speaking, I just hope that Asuu will show more understanding of the situations in the country. I quite get their point, but at the same time, they should also understand the fact that this should be a collective effort on behalf of the citizens and themselves. Everybody is affected by what is happening in the country. Now, I think what they should need to do is to continue negotiating with the government of the day, because you know that most of the things they are asking for is not easy. I mean, it's not in one swear sweep that government will answer them. So I want to appeal that they should continue to, engage the government. That way, one day, government will give attention to them and they get to solution to what they are asking for. And then the man representing them, I'm not sure that's the best mind to put forward the demand of the government. I mean, as a professor, I mean, there should be a way you will also consider the citizens, the generality of Nigeria, before you can now begin to say you want to give a total paralysis of the judicial system through strike. I mean, the students will suffer, the parents will suffer, the economy will suffer. I mean, so there must be a way you engage. Let's engage our mind and with the government. That's what I want to say.
All right, thank you very much. Engaging our mind with the government. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Chukwuzo calling from Ojo.
Hey, Bube Chukwuzo from Ojo. Make your comment. Go ahead.
Yes. You see, lecturers are the pillars of the nation. In every organized country, these are the people that give government advice, because they are the ones that have the scientists. If you talk of ammunition, if you talk of everything concerning weather, we talk about everything in society. These people are the people that are holding the country. These people are the people that train the children who are going to be the leaders of the nation. America don't play with them. They advise government every day what they will do. Why America is progressing today is because of the lecturers. Treat these people well. I don't see they say the bad economy is bad, and these people are suffering. These people are the people that stand in front of the children, teaching them things of they should know about life, about the nation. Don't play with them. All these people that are increasing their salary, increasing the journalists, all these national assembly. What are they for? Allowances of them, is it not enough for them? What people are they acting about again? We because they run away because we have national assembly. Politicians, they are doing everything. These people are the pillars of the nation. They should take care.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, Spotlight. Good morning. Who do we have on the line?
Good morning, Michael Young, and your guest in the studio.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Peter Usifo. I'm calling from Abanaja in Ikoton.
All right, Peter Usifo, good morning. Welcome.
A worker must be paid his or her own wages. Is entitled to his or her own wages. And agreement is an agreement. You understand? So I really empathize with the lecturers, with Asuu members for their own strike. And they should make this protest to be well known to the government. However, I see every Asuu strike, these days. In the past, pre-Buhari's period, Buhari's time, this next time, and even in future, I see them going on strike when they use 2009 as their base year for strike. 2009 in capital letters and underline. I see that as a blackmail to every government. You understand why they use that 2009? To say the agreement that was the agreement that was reached between them and the government in 2009 has not been met. Why? This is a serious blackmail. The Asuu people should think about it. When they go on strike, they should not mention that 2009. Are they saying that maybe that 2009 agreement, everything has not been met? Because we learned that in that agreement, it may be some lecturers in University of Ilorin were sacked. All of them, are they still alive? And those ones that are still alive, have they not gone back to the system? Have some of them not retired? Just as we have the guest as Professor Emeritus, who is also retired at the moment. So that is just my problem with us. They always use 2009. They should tell us what the problem in that 2009, whether it has not been settled. What is their problem in that 2009? And not only that, you see, when they say, after the strike, they always go back to cover what they have missed with the students. It's a big lie. That is very wrong. Because, for instance, what you ought to have taught the students within a month or 2 months in a very convenient manner, when you go back, you see them under 1 week or 2 weeks, and then you set exam, and that's class program. And the students are not settled apart from other social ills that they suffer during this strike. It's like the parents, the society and everything. So what I'm trying to say is that government should do their own bit, and then also people should also consider society and do their own bit and stop using 2009 as base, because it's irritating to most of us when you talk about 2009. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comment. Well, Prof, I'm sure you had a caller there, questioning the ability of saying, what is in that 2009 agreement that Asuu is refusing to let go, and also questioning the fact that lecturers are always quick to say, they will cover up. They'll cover up. Do you want to address that?
You see, let me tell you that it's substantially the 2009 agreement is yet to address the issue of salary completely, and you see, it is to tell the old world that if an agreement of 2009 has not been fully implemented, you can now imagine what the lecturers are going through in the universities. That is one. Two, you see, when we say cover whatever has been lost by way of man hours. You see, we do not go back to the system and then be rushing. You see, we as a university, we now look at the calendar, we see how we can adjust the calendar, because for maybe to just educate the public, for any course in the university system, you must give minimum of 11 zone additional problems by way of admission and stuff like that. So, on the part of the lecturers and on the part of the management of universities, there is nobody rushing anybody there. We always make sure that at least in any course, there will be 11 weeks of lectures, which is the minimum as set in our books. So, and then for those who are saying we should continue to negotiate, the question really is, for how long do you want to negotiate? See, you need to answer that one. And to me, like we always tell the society, you cannot say something is bad and then go away. If you say something is bad, then you must suggest solution. So let them suggest solutions and let us interrogate their solutions. In the academia, we just don't go on the streets like that. We will have interrogated many things. We will have even questioned each other. We will have subjected almost everything to logic, and then look at the consequences of whatever we want to do, and then how do we go about it? And that was why I said strike is not always the option. Strike will only come by when negotiation fails.
All right, thank you very much.
So, you now ask me to continue to negotiate when it continues to fail.
So much happening in the educational sector, and I tend to imagine going this model of all strike. I'm just being scared for those in the university system right now. What's really going on? I hope that the federal government is being able is going to resolve these issues when they meet with the Asuu members as the executive, tomorrow. Well, quickly, I will take a short breather. Professor Adebi Julius, the Professor of Business Finance from the Olabisi Onabanjo University. Thank you very much for your time this morning. But quickly, yes, I will take a short breather. And when we return, we'll talk about the pay rise for a politician. Is this a question to reason? Is it a thing to imagine? Or is it going to be something to dust off from our shelves? Well, we'll take a short break and when we return, we'll talk more. Please stay with us.
One family, one radio. 92.7 Super FM. To listen to us anywhere, download Super FM Global app on the Google App Store or the iOS app right now. Stay connected to Super FM. 92.7 Super FM. Follow us on all our socials at Super FM Lagos to stay connected and stay locked on your super station 92.7. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
92.7 Super FM.
Welcome back, Lagos. This is still Spotlight on Super FM 92.7. Yes, let's talk politics. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has entered public and judicial office orders. Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, February 2007 to June 2009, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have motor vehicle fueling and maintenance. We have the special assistant, we have personal assistant, we have hardship, that's 1.7, about monthly value is about 146,000. That's yearly, it's about 1.7. Domestic staff, we have entertainment, we have utilities, consistency, about 732,000 naira. Newspaper and periodicals is also there, and the total is 1.171 million naira. There are other allowances which we will also roll out. We have vice president annual basic salary 252 month 252,631, annual 3.031 million. We have hardship 126,315 naira. We have consistency 631,577,000. Well, the other allowances there: ministers, SGF, HOS, chairman of constitutional bodies. Let me break down. Yeah, this is to say motor vehicle fueling and maintenance 126,650.
Bad inflation creeping in and all that. But on another part again, when you compare the minimum wage at that time with what they are earning now, and even the minimum wage currently compared to what political office holders are being paid, you will know that there is a huge gap as are being paid. You will know that there is a huge gap between what they are collecting while representing us and what an average Nigerian is earning. Another issue is the argument that you can't be paying the president less than what or any other
CBN governor.
That's right, less than what heads of government agencies are being paid. Again, I would reject that, because when you look at even in developed climes, there are people running agencies or in the private sector world who are earning a lot more, than the presidents or the prime ministers of the country. In the Bank of England CEO, earns more than the Prime Minister of Britain. I mean, that's quite clear. You are talking about people with professional skills, headhunted, badly needed to run that sector, compared to politicians who, in any case, in our own case, we only require them to have a minimum school cert attempt or school cert certificate. That's all what we require. If you are to use that argument, then we'll turn around and say professors deserves to be better paid, than the president of our country, simply because you only need the minimum of school cert, to get to that position. So I don't think that would hold water. The real truth of the matter is what we are all running away from, and I think you've brought it to the limelight in this discussion, is actually the allowances which they are collecting. I mean, a situation where an House of Reps is being alleged to collect 28 million naira a quarter.
Let me take you to the allowances. Well, allowances for the president. Yeah, I was waiting for the conversation. But okay, before we go, let's hear from Prof. Prof, quickly, what's your take on this before we jump to look at the allowances of these political holders? Prof,
you see, first and foremost, good morning, my brother Shoumi. I quite agree with the perspectives raised by Shoumi. If it is a 2008 that they are now trying to review now, what stopped anybody to have even fulfilled 2009 and be reviewing for the university lecturers now? You can see the lack of equity in what we are doing, and of course we need to separate the basic from the allowances. The basic may look low, but the allowances very high. I know if it were to be a civil servant, when the time of pension comes, before this contributory pension problem that we have now, when they want to compute your gratuity, they want to compute your pension, it is the basic they will use. So that is why certain people will want their basic to be large enough so that when they are doing the computation, then the pension and gratuity will look good too. So I agree with what Shoumi has said.
All right, thank you very much. Let's look at the allowances of this public order. Okay, quickly we'll look at this saying president accommodation. Well, it was not stated. Furniture, it was not stated. It all provided TBP, that's to be published. Extra code per night to be published when applied for. Well, medical to be published. Severance gratuity as 10,544,150 naira after successful completion of tenure. That's for severance gratuity. We have leave 351,470 naira annually. Loan optional. We also have motor vehicle loan. That's 1,157 naira. Motor vehicle loan 12,126,290 naira to be repaid before expiration of tenure. Now let's come to ministers. Ministers' other allowances, accommodation 4,052,000, furniture 6,079,200. We have severance gratuity 6,079,000 also. Also, we have leave 202,640 naira. Then motor vehicle loan 8,105,600 naira. Minister of State, we have accommodation 3,915,000. This is just 2007 to 2009. February 2007 to June 2009, which is still, at stake to date. It's still ongoing to date. Well, we know that the minimum wage has been added to, has increased, and definitely all of these figures will also be raised. These are the breakdown, Mr. Showumi. Your take. You wanted to make a comment on this, but I wanted to just read it out for you. For us to understand, where we're coming from, where we're heading to, and then this request that has been made.
Well, if you look at all those allowances highlighted, including accommodation and all that, are people renting houses or living in government properties? In the case of the executive, particularly the president, vice president, and ministers, I'm not aware any minister is renting a property in Abuja and then being paid that humongous amount of money as accommodation allowance. Again, when you go back in time and look at the time when Obasanjo was in power, you will recall that they actually monetized properties and what do they call it? And transportation, for members of the National Assembly. And then what then happened? After adding it to their emolument, the next thing is the members of National Assembly started buying the same vehicles, but claiming that they are for committee works. And because they are for committee works, they are not buying a bus to move in that bus. They're buying SUV. You recall what happened just in 2023 when Tinubu came into office with the National Assembly members buying the Jeep, at a huge amount of money. So on one part, they've been paid, it's been added to their salary. On another part, they're also collecting the same vehicle, which to me appears dubious. And when you actually look at the fact that why should people in holding political offices, be a lot better paid than the people they are representing, who in any case are the ones generating, the resources within the economy. They are the actual productive forces within the economy. I will give you an example of Britain. Okay. In UK, you'll be surprised a middle manager earns a little bit more than a local member of parliament in UK. I can tell you that because I was in that situation, before migrating back to Nigeria, a situation where I got paid. You will not be interested in politics if you're a very rich man or you're a middle manager, because your interest will lie in, earning more, while working in the private sector. So, but the reverse is the case in Nigeria. We have a situation where it is more profitable to be in politics than to actually be an academic lecturer or to be a manager in the industry or to be a CEO. because we have turned politics into a money-making venture. It's no longer about public service. If you're talking about public service, we will not be talking about the kind of figures we are talking of in a country where the minimum wage is 70,000 naira, where a professor is paid the equivalent salary of a level 16, not even a permanent secretary's salary. So when you look at all those situations, you begin to ask yourself, now it's quite clear why we see, highly skilled people like lecturers and doctors and nurses, leaving our country in droves. It's simply because they are not being well paid, while at the same time, we have a situation where, the politicians seems to be getting every single thing. I mean, what is the motive in creating industries? Now, in establishing an industry, is it not better to spend the money for establishing an industry to go into politics, and then you can make humongous amount of money, in billions? So for me, I don't think it makes sense to review the salaries without the allowances. We should add everything together and let us know the actual pay. Because at the end of the day, you also highlighted the fact that they will still get gratuity. I don't know who will work for 4 years or 8 years and is entitled to gratuity. It's quite strange, because if you don't work up to 10 years, I can tell you that clearly in UK, if you do not work up to 10 years, you won't even get the state pension. So whereas gratuity has actually been outlawed in Nigeria, you can check with the accountants, that is gone, but they're still paying it to politicians. It's been replaced with an enhanced pension, so for me, politicians are still collecting it, even though a court has ruled against it, but it's still being paid. So these are issues which needs to be examined.